Hello, my earth signs. Welcome to Low. So this is our Love Oracle weeklies. And so I go by BW, and this is Succulent Oracle, brought to you by Awakened Hearts Healing. And so if you are interested in a personal reading, so we'll be looking at obstacles, breakdowns for the connection and your person in personal readings, you could go ahead and book that in the email in my description box. Otherwise, we will go ahead and get into this. I already prayed and set the intention and cleanse the cards, so let's do it. So we're going to be taking a look at your head space, your heart space, your 5D space. So that's what your higher self, or if you're thinking another timeline, would say, energy would present if it was looking in on you or yours. And then obstacle of this connection, or if you're single, for yourself this week. And then we'll take a look at the connection, and we'll look at the connections, headspace, heart space, and 5D, and we'll clarify that, as well as your person's headspace, heart space, and 5D. And as I said, want to take a look at the connection and your person's obstacle and clarify that, we could go ahead, do that in a personal. And so let's get into it. And so what is the energy that we have for our earth signs, our Capricorns, our Tauruses, and our Virgos for the week of December 4th to the 10th? And I'm just going to be spreading them out and taking them that way. Okay, so we're starting with you. What is your energies? So Capricorns, Tauruses, and Virgos, your headspace is the Starbud. So this is about enlightenment, soul growth, and higher consciousness. These are handmade oracles by myself, made by myself. Okay, and we'll take a look at your heart space. Trust your intuition. Your 5D is the altar, prayer, manifestation, and spiritual team. And your obstacle, fallen star, reassessment, shadow work, and healing. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll get some clarifying messages for our earth signs, our Capricorns, Virgos, Taurus. Okay, so we're clarifying Starbud for your headspace. Okay, we have call in support. And clarifying trust your intuition, sacred path, and clarifying the altar for your 5D, divine timing. Okay, I'm going to be using Doreen Virtue's Mermaids and Dolphins deck to clarify your obstacle, which was the fallen star, reassessment, healing, and shadow work. Please clarify fallen star. So you could go ahead and kind of feel out if this is your reading for this week, or if this speaks to you. You are being helped. Heaven is working behind the scenes to help you, even if you don't see results yet. And this is to clarify our fallen star, reassessment, shadow work, and healing. Okay. So with Starbud being your headspace, it's about enlightenment, soul growth, higher consciousness, and it was clarified by call-in support. And so if you are solo, single, and you're trying to inquire, what this week might hold for you, whether you're dating or you would like to start dating this week. I think your headspace is about how much you've grown, or maybe this newfound sense of consciousness or confidence in your growth and in yourself. And so with call-in support, I think, starting with the people that you know or the people who are around you, birds of a feather flock together. Ultimately, I would say work around or work through people you admire or you adore versus, maybe the cousin that you find annoying or you don't necessarily get along with. I don't think you should ask them if they have any single friends or, or if they're doing anything hanging out wise, as far as if you're trying to get yourself out there to find people. So yeah, but I feel like, ultimately, understanding that if you can find or know good people, starting there is a great way to maximize a good connection, as far as you wanting to keep the ball going, maybe with some of the positive or new changes that you're feeling coming out of Scorpio season, and really feeling this new sense of fire or passion right now in this Sag season. I was going to say in this passion season. And so with our heart space, we have trust your intuition, and that was clarified by sacred path. And so I think your heart is wanting you to trust yourself, understanding that things happen for a reason, and some things are just meant to be, as far as this ultimate or great story and how it all comes together. And so really sitting in that space, trusting not only your heart, but your gut, as far as your intuition, is something I'm hearing with this heart space energy for this week. As I said, if you're single, allowing that to kind of guide you as you're meeting new people. I'll double back for in a relationship. And we have here for the 5D, the altar. So this is your higher self, or if another timeline version of you could be looking in, and what energy might be present, or they might present you with, as far as helping you or this connection elevate. And so the altar is here as prayer, manifestation, and spiritual team. And so that's just a reminder that, we do have a whole team that's here to assist us. They're here to help bring these things in that are gonna at the end of the day, they're adding to our experience. They're adding to the ways that we're able to ascend, and they're way showers. They're people who want to see us at our best self. And so just being able to utilize prayer, being able to I'm hearing like affirmations and like writing things down, whether that's about yourself, about not only this person, but the connection that you desire if you're single and you're wanting to call things in. But ultimately, we're trusting divine timing. We're trusting that, once we put it out there, once we've set this intention, that's all it takes. And what happens between then and, you finding that thing, it's all divine. And so just trusting that, especially with sacred path, there is this sense of like, feeling through this unknown. And I feel like the way that your headspace is just about your growth, and it is about this sense of enlightenment that you're feeling. It's feeling good for you. It's feeling like something that you can flow through and move through. If you are in a connection, so this week, on a personal level, you might feel like, coming out of the Scorpio season, you've been able to kind of, elevate or evolve on some level, and call in support. I just feel like there might be a call for you to share this, with your partner, and maybe ultimately you're recognizing some areas that you might need for them to step up, or you might need other people to fill spaces where you're recognizing that they can't step up, which is totally, valid, or, so with call in support, I do feel like there is community, or there is a need to even though you're feeling this lightness or this enlightenment, there is a need to still delegate or situate things on a way it's being communicated. And I just feel like this sense of like everybody kind of working together to understand like this is for the greater good, this is actually the higher version of what this looks like. And so I feel like your headspace is on this shift. And your heart space, if you are in a connection, maybe there are some moments where you're like, am I doing too much? Or if there are bumps, it's like, is it worth it? And so really trusting your intuition. And maybe the answer is yes. And maybe that's all part of your path, to experience it, to have to walk away from it, or, maybe this is something that the things that are happening, you're learning from, you're growing from, and you can understand how it's part of the journey. And so you're really being able to sit back and acknowledge where trusting yourself in this connection, is ultimately taking you on this whole journey with this person. And this week might be offering you that, or you might be leaning into that or needing to lean into that, as far as how you're navigating some things. And the 5D, if you're in a connection, is understanding that, you can pray, you can return to your altar. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our partners, whether you share space with them or you're just, in your day-to-day, that it gets hard, or we forget that we have these extensions of us, or extensions of even our partners outside of us, and that we can call upon them, and rely on them in these beautiful ways. And we get to also, sit back and just trust that things are working as they need to, whether you're trying to move things forward, or, you're just assessing this connection. Just taking time with your spiritual team and in prayer, offering gratitude, but also working with them as far as how are you moving forward? How is this connection growing? The fallen star for the obstacle this week is about a reassessment, healing, and shadow work. So something about this like sense of like enlightenment and growth, it is allowing you to reassess things, whether you've come out of a space of healing and shadow work or you're still kind of in it. I do feel like this week it is showing up. It is a present energy as far as kind of just when you like get some sort of boo-boo, owie, scratch, whatever, and it's like before it scabs, like before it's like an actual like solid scab, it'll like pus, it'll like do a whole thing, and it's just like, you're just like, I just need it covered, I just need it like, but not too covered, but like Gucci until it scabs. Like once it scabs, it's good. I don't need a Band-Aid, it's just woo. And so I feel like you're at, personally, your blockage might be that, you know, even coming out of Scorpio season, whatever deaths or rebirths you've been going through, you're like, oh man, this is too fresh. Like there's lots of things here. And so you're being helped, was to clarify. And it says heaven is working behind the scenes to help you, even if you don't see results yet. And so I just think, once again, with the altar as your 5D, just really taking time to pray and to spend time with your spiritual team this week, when things are kind of getting rough or tough on that personal level. As far as your connection, yeah, if you're going through this point of reassessment, or you guys are working through things, especially with calling support and you're having those communication, or you're asking for support in certain areas, just know that, you know, it's a work in progress. And even if you're not seeing results or things right away, if you're trusting your intuition and things are saying to stick on this path, you know, just wait. Things will bide results, but you know, it takes input sometimes. And so just trusting that. And yeah, if you're coming out of this healing shadow work phase, from your connection, just knowing that right now you ultimately have, it's part of this divine sacred path. That's the ultimate vibe that I'm getting. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a look at the connection. And so for the connection, we're going to look at connection for our earth signs. So our Capricorns, our Taurus, and our Virgos. The connections, headspace, heart space, and 5D. Okay, so the connections headspace is third party and gossip. Interesting earth signs. And the heart space is soul ties and contracts. Okay. The 5D for this connection this week, for December 4th to the 10th, is soul tribe. Sorry, that was soul ties. Soul tribe for the 5D. Okay, we will go ahead and clarify that. So clarifying for the connection for the week of December 4th to December 10th. For our earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos. Okay. So clarifying the headspace, we have third party, which is and gossip, new beginnings. Very interesting. Okay, we have for the heart space, soul ties and contracts clarified by betrayal and heartbreak. This is very interesting. And then for the 5D, we had soul tribe, which is about connections, contracts, and soul path. And it is clarified by the present versus potential. Okay, so this connections headspace, I feel like there might be a lot of other people talking, whether that's family, friends, work. You just might find that something that's like coming up or something that you're like dealing with is like outside people things. And so with new beginnings, I just feel like there might be a level of communication on how to resolve this. But also with noting that your personal reading was calling for you to like call in support with new beginnings, there might be some like boundaries being set in order for there to be this like new beginning of how this looks. As far as like calling in support, if it is about gossip and you know, things of that nature, you know, there might be levels of, you know, needing to situate what it looks like to have some level of a new beginning or a reset in this area. I just feel like, yeah, there's just outside energy. And, you know, if it's our friends that are like, I don't know, and our families like, I don't know, you know, maybe there needs to be some level of evaluation of like why, you know, there's this input. And I do say that because for our heart space, we had soul ties and contracts clarified by heartbreak and betrayal. So I feel like as much as, you know, there is a deep contracts feeling or heavy, you know, soul tie connection here, whether it's twin flame, whether it's, you know, that soulmate, there's a lot of hurt here as well. There's a lot of betrayal, there's a lot of heartbreak. And so the heart space this week is showing that whether, you know, something is coming up or things from the past are showing up. But I do feel like that is present this week. And so, you know, having other people involved or having outside voices, you know, might be playing into this, being privy to some of this, or a reflection of this, I should say. But yeah, I just feel like this energy this week, you know, might be a little bit rougher waters, just because of this heartbreak and betrayal energy clarifying this connection. Sorry, not this connection, the heart space, which is about the connection as far as the contracts and the ties of this connection. And so, yeah, I just feel like that might be at hand or at play this week. And with the 5D being about soul tribes, our connections and contracts, our soul path, I think 5D is reminding us, as far as these connections and contracts is what I was talking about in our heart space, how much they're a part of our path, our soul path. And so it's not necessarily to bypass anything that you're feeling emotionally, but there is this understanding of, you know, sometimes with these connections, we have signed these contracts and these are experiences that are here to in some way help elevate us or help us ascend, you know, when we've understood the other side. And so there might be this level this week where, you know, it's like, fuck, I'm really sad that I'm going through this or feeling this way, but I also understand or feel so drawn or connected to this person. And so with it being clarified by the present versus potential, I think it's sometimes really easy, especially when we're in these twin connections, to default into like how good and how easy and how, you know, how it's just like, that's my person, this connection feels. However, with the present versus potential, you know, that reminder of not only evaluating or taking a look at what's in front of us, what's not ahead of us, but what's also in front of us, because it is very easy to be like in the future, or, well, things will change, and when things are better, and when I start doing this, and when they start showing up like this, and it's just it happens so fast that, you know, next thing you know, we're basically in Delulu, and we're just living in a different reality than what's currently in front of us. Yeah. And if you're single, I just feel like this week, the headspace yeah, you might be like just like focused more on other people. I'm hearing like your community with the gossip, like planning blind dates. I can't remember what it's called because like it's like Tinder in the days of apping apps. I was gonna say Tindering, and that's not a word either. So using apps, and so it's like blind date. But yeah, I just feel like there is this use of like community with new beginnings, if you are looking for that. And so I just feel like with the heart space coming out of, you know, some deep contracts, connections, and some hard times with the heartbreak and betrayal. And so moving through that, this connection, you know, you might feel that, whether it's just initiating or it's in the early days of this dating or whatever, you might feel those feelings or that energy, those insecurities, those memories, those things kind of more present in the heart space than you thought, or initially going into it. And so, yeah, this week you might, you know, have those moments where like, oh yeah, it's still there. Yeah, so that's that. And with the 5D for this connection, if you are single, yeah, with the connections and contracts very much relating back to that headspace of like community, trusting that community, and you know, like I'm getting such different energy for singles. I'm like, wow, so different. With the heartbreak and betrayal, you know, not getting so caught up in that, you know, not having that be so heavy on your heart as you're moving into these new spaces. Because it's just like, yeah, that was your present or your past, your old realities, what you knew. But it's like, what about the potential? Like, it could be so great. Or it would be so nice. That's what I heard. But yeah, so I just feel like very different energies for the connection. We'll leave it there because if you would like to do a more deep dive at this connection and look at the blockage, we'll do a personal reading for that. And we're going to go into this person. Lastly, okay, so what energy do we have for your person for Capricorn? Or sorry, for our earth signs, but for Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgos, what is the energy that we have this week for December 4th going into the 10th? Okay, so your person's headspace. The present versus potential, which we did see for the connection, clarifying 5D. So it's so interesting how like when the connection energy carries through to one or the other, especially a 5D energy, but their headspace is about the present versus potential. Your person's heart space is about new love. Ooh, exciting. And your person's 5D is about new beginnings. Exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and clarify this. Please clarify this energy for your person for this week, December 4th, 10th, for signs. Okay, we're going to clarify the present versus potential. The present versus potential. Very, okay, self-explanatory, I guess. And for new love, increased finances. Okay. And for our 5D, soulmates. Okay. So your person's headspace, they might If you are in a relationship, your person might be at a place where they're evaluating things. They're evaluating what they want. They're evaluating what this connection has to offer them. And so this week they might be feeling that, I feel like with their heart space being on new love, clarified by increased finances, new love is about passions, connections, and the heart chakra. So I feel like, they might be focused on something relating to their bank or what's increasing their security or their grounding with increased finances. They could also be in a space where they're focused on some level of new connections. This could be friendship. Otherwise, that gives them some level or offers them some level or new level of increased finances or security. This could just be like their own personal like security within themselves or grounding. It doesn't necessarily have to be money or of the like material 3D, but I do feel like their heart space is more on either their passions or connections. And I'm not necessarily feeling like it's fully like present in yours, but like others, I will say that. With the 5D of your person being new beginnings, clarified by soulmates, I do just feel like it's whether they have new friends or there's new business connections coming in. I just feel like that's kind of where they're present, is how they're building and the things that those connections have to offer. Like that just seems to be something that's like at the forefront for them this week. If it is in regards to your relationship, these new beginnings, might be in regards to having seen some level of increased finances, or even just them diving into passions in this heart chakra, and the things that they really love, or the things that they get to be authentic in, and their true self, and just seeing growth in that area. There's new beginnings, or they're able to give to this relationship, or recognizing this relationship in a different way. If there has been positive shifts this week, as far as if things are really struggling through that connection phase of betrayal, and that energy that's shown up, there can be potential for them thinking about new beginnings or possibilities with other people. I will say that I'm not necessarily getting one energy over the other, just the fact that there is a multitude of dynamics at play, but it is a possibility that their higher self or other timeline version of self does think about the option or opportunity of other things or other connections. But ultimately, like, if things have been, good in your relationship, but the connection is just kind of working through, past hurts and things, or old insecurities and things are coming up and causing things within this relationship, know that, you're that your person taking time to focus on themselves, their passions, their heart chakra, or even just in other connections, friendships, and otherwise, their ability to increase their own abundance on a personal level, and feel prideful or passionate about it, is able to like help give some new energy, if things have been positive and moving through. Yeah. I hope that these messages find you well. If you are looking to book a personal reading and take a look at the connection as well as your person's obstacle and clarifying that, and we'll obviously just clarify and go into things a little bit more. I do them via video, and so yeah, we can go ahead and do that, and we could book through my email. It's just in the description box below, and I hope this video finds you all well and you have a great rest of your week. Peace and love.